Welcome to World Mission Topics, Lesson 7. I do not own the rights to this music. The topic is preserved by His power. The lesson text is coming out of Psalm 104, verses 10 through 24. The memory verse says, O Lord, how manifold are thy works! In wisdom hast thou made them all. The earth is full of thy riches. And that's Psalm 104, verse 24. The key terms are mammon, provision, and sustenance. Mammon is wealth regarded as an evil influence or false object of worship. Provision, the action of providing or supplying something for use. Sustenance, food and drink, regarded as a source of strength, nourishment. Psalm 104, verses 10 through 24. He sendeth the springs into the valleys, which run among the hills. They give drink to every beast of the field. The wild donkeys quench their thirst. By them shall the fowls of the heaven have their habitation, which sing among the branches. He watereth the hills from his chambers. The earth is satisfied with the fruit of thy works. He causeth the grass to grow for the cattle, and herb for the service of man, that he may bring forth food out of the earth, and wine that maketh glad the heart of man, and oil to make his face to shine, and bread which strengtheneth man's heart. The trees of the Lord are full of sap, the cedars of Lebanon, which he hath planted, where the birds make their nest. As for the stork, the fir trees are her house. The high hills are a refuge for the wild goats, and the rocks for the conies. He appointed the moon for seasons. The sun knoweth his going down. Thou makest darkness, and it is night, wherein all the beasts of the forest do creep forth. The young lions roar after their prey, and seek their meat from God. The sun ariseth, they gather themselves together, and lay them down in their dens. Man goeth forth unto his work, and to his labor until the evening. O Lord, how manifold are thy works! In wisdom hast thou made them all. The earth is full of thy riches. Suggested emphasis. Routine observation of the created world confirms that the preservation of life is a part of the natural order. The simplest food chain demonstrates nature's allowances for each of its residents, as do other evidences of the interdependence of living things. For example, how reproduction of many flowers depends on the honeybees that spread the flower pollen while gathering nectar. Nature hints at the truth that the lesson text plainly announces. It is God's expressed will to sustain his creation. He sends water to nourish plant life and quench the thirst of animals. He arranges habitation for fowls and beasts alike, and he feeds all creatures out of his own hand. Emphasis 1. Provision comes with work. The creatures participate in their own sustenance. The young lions roar after their prey and seek their meat from God. That is to say, they move forward in the work given to them to secure the provision God has already made. And human beings are held to the same standard. If any would not work, neither should he eat. We will share the same fate as the lion that refuses to hunt. If we do not work, we will go hungry. Emphasis 2. We work as the servants of God. Our efforts must be connected to our trust in God. Labor that is not based on a presumption that God will reward it is as worthless as idleness. In the Sermon on the Mount, Christ described people who work for its own sake as servants of mammon. Christians long to be servants of God, even in their natural work, because ultimately He will pay. The check may have the boss's name on it, but we know who is really to be thanked. Emphasis 3. We work that we may lack nothing. Because our honest labor pleases our Father, He rebukes poverty for our sakes. Paul exhorted believers to render due labor so that they may lack of nothing. Our provision has already been made. We need only seek it out. Mission application questions. Question 1. How do creatures participate with God in their own sustenance? Question 2. What does it mean to be a servant of mammon? Question 3. How would you counsel a friend that is experiencing a season of lack? World Missions Prayer Points. Let us thank the Lord for our daily provisions. Let us pray that God will remove the obstacles that bring lack and poverty into the lives of believers. Let us pray to always recognize the hand of God in the processes and cycles of nature. The end. God bless you, and thank you for joining me today.